reflection of who he is, guess the next logical thing is that you begin to sound like your father. I gave the example yesterday of my mother not knowing the difference between my father and myself and my brother when we were talking on the phone, because we were around our father so much that we begin to sound like him. So I'm gonna go natural, but I'm gonna go spiritual too. Some of you have been around your mother so long that you don't sound like your father. Some people have been around their mother so long, and because of whatever situation, that you don't sound like a father, or you don't sound like your father. So that's why you must tap in and begin to recognize where the father is, which is inside of you. And once you realize the father, which is I am, is inside of you, begin to sound like your father. So with the father, which is inside of you, what he would do is to get the voice to you. So you sound like the father. He will get mentors, coaches, spiritual leaders, whatever the case may be, so that you can hear the sound of your father. He will bring coaches, mentors, teachers, whatever the case may be. Sharice, what's going on? To get you to what? Sound, so you can understand the sound of the father. So you begin to sound like your father. I had my natural biological father, but I had other fathers who showed up in my life, like a guy named Mr. Cheeks, when I worked off 105 at Corey Recreation. Take time with me to show me how to do some things. So basically, you're saying some men been around their mom so long they don't know this. They don't sound like a man. Woo! That's basically what I'm saying. If you took the gloves off, that's exactly what I'm saying. Let me repeat what he said. So basically, you're saying some men been around their mother so long that they don't sound like a man. And know how much, I don't care how much you try to twist it, and the woman can say, I can do the same thing as a man can do. I don't need no man. That son, that daughter needs to hear the sound of a father. You need both. You need to hear the sound of both. Well, I didn't have it. I know the thing. I said I didn't have it. That's why I didn't have it there. That's why. What happens is, in society, and y'all need to pay attention to this, some mothers, not all, have been in their masculinity and have made their daughters masculine and made their sons feminine. Let me slow it down. Some mothers have made their daughters masculine and in turn made their sons feminine. I don't know who's calling me at this number, but I can't answer that. Let me say that again. Some mothers have made their daughters so masculine that because of their hurt and disappointment with the fathers or men, they have in turn made their daughters masculine, where they don't need a man. And while they in turn made their sons cuddled their sons, they babied their sons, they made up his bed, they cooked him everything. He came and iron his own shirt. And what happens is he had made him dependent on his mother. And no woman wants a man like that. So she has in turn tried to fix the little boy, her son. Let me say this. She in turn tried to fix her son by the mistakes of the men that she have chosen. So what happens is the little boy becomes the social experiment to try to fix masculinity, because it did not work in her relationship with the father or with the men in her life. This might be too deep. Gloves off. And then the daughter becomes in her masculine, she's still feminine, but she's so driven that she says, I see mom didn't need a man. I don't need a man. So she now goes on to do great things, but she has in her mind, she does not need a man. Come on, y'all. This too heavy for somebody. This too heavy. Either you make her not need a man or taught her how to use a man and turn the son into a panty rack. Yeah. Come on. This might be too much. This might be just, you may be too much for somebody. Because they want to hear, oh, LGA, man, you shouldn't be saying this. No, I have to say this so you understand, you can hear the Father. You sound like your father. So what happens is we have a lot of little boys who are paying the price because their mothers made the wrong decision in the type of men to be in their lives, or because the father decided to leave. And so the little boy, because he's masculine, just because he's a male, she wants to now neuter him. No, what's the better word? Castrate is a better word. So we have boys who are now castrated first. They're not castrated in their genitalias. They're castrated in their souls because they are not in their masculinity. And the little boy's masculinity becomes a threat because now she's mad because he begins to rebel and she can't control his masculinity, or he submits and becomes less or becomes weakened because she's so far in her masculinity. She's too far in the mother's too far in her masculinity because she's trying to play both roles of the father and the mother. Who told you need to play the role of the father and the mother? Let me get to the men. And you men have left your sons and your daughters in an environment where the balance needs to be there so that the children, the daughter knows what it means to hear the father's voice. You have left your sons where he doesn't even know the father's voice, which is his action, or he does not sound like you. There's certain things I can say that sounds like my dad. And so we have a generation of people who are misplaced because the little boy has been castrated and the woman or the little girl has turned into a community. Y'all need to pay attention to this because this is rough. Has turned into a community of hyenas. And in the hyena community, the woman runs the pack of hyenas, and her genitalia parts becomes longer or more pronounced than the males.